Well, hello and welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina and Louie and I are taking a little coffee break. I run a real estate and design business in the Atlanta area for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, and I had to take the opportunity to hop on and chat with you guys about something that is so huge. You're going to freak. I'm just sure you're going to freak. I got to set the coffee down. Setting the coffee down in the intro. You know it's going to be a good video. Sherwin Williams has just released their color forecast for 2023. Guys, not only did they forecast a color, they forecasted a palette. Not only did they forecast a palette, they have forecasted 4 palettes for us to look at, and I am freaking out. I hopped on because I've been thinking a lot about what was coming out in the coming year, and we've been talking lately about fall trends, what's going to be sticking around from 2022, what you can keep investing in this year so that next year you still feel like you are still on trend. Well, let me just tell you, this is a big deal and I cannot wait to share all of it with you. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you give the video a huge thumbs up if you, like me, get this excited about colors. And okay, maybe give it a thumbs up even if you don't get as excited as I do. I just love this. I love seeing what's coming out. I love how it gives us just a little glimpse into what to expect and what we might be feeling. And we're gonna need you to decide today because these palettes are all different, and I am dying to hear which one of these is your favorite and which one of these is maybe a total no-go. I can't wait to hear your feedback. I know for me, there's one that I went just bananas over, and there's one that I was like, yeah, this one's not gonna be me. So I cannot wait to hear your reactions. I can't wait to hear what you guys think and whether these colors are trending where you are and if you hope they do. So let's dive into the 2023 Sherwin-Williams color forecast palettes. Okay, one more sip of coffee. Okay, so yeah, I am this excited and I haven't even had my coffee. So I'm telling you, it's a big deal. The first one that I completely freaked out over was the NEXUS palette. This is how Sherwin-Williams describes this color palette. It's our communal well-being. If we look carefully, we find a quiet place of healing, a realm where the energy we give is returned to us tenfold, where the warmth of loving kindness reminds us of what it feels like to come home, and kindle a sense of support and serenity with a potter's palette of natural clays and sun-baked desert sands, grounding brown and a soft, soulful white. Anyone else's mind blown? I mean, yes, I'm just gonna say it. Yes, I love this. And I would say that typically I'm not a very pink person. I say that, but I've got a pinkish, brownish kind of color on there. And when I saw that palette, I was just like, oh, it's so warm. It's so inviting. It really does have every element that they are suggesting. I truly love this palette. Within this palette, we've got 10 different colors. Everything from likable sand, reddened point, reddened earth, leaf flower. We've got these malted milk that's a little bit pinkish, emerging taupe. You guys know I love taupe. Kestrel white, which is a very creamy beigey white, cool beige, foothills, and chatura gray. So, for somebody who is clearly living in a lot of black and white, how can I possibly get this excited about something that's clearly got a lot of pinks, it's got a lot of taupes, it's got a lot of beiges, it's got a lot of this sort of brownish gray, those colors that we've been talking about so much on our channel. I just feel like they really nailed it. The only color I would say that I would personally add into this is a really grounding, like really soft, smoky black. Like I think iron ore would sit perfectly with this color palette. I think it would be gorgeous. So I look at a color palette like this and I don't limit myself in thinking that I have to paint every room in my house pink. But what I think is that I can use this color as accents. It would be gorgeous to accent with this color with some candle holders, some cushions on the sofa. I think Oh, I recently got a rug for one of my projects. It's very similar to this color palette, and I just went nuts over it. In fact, I shared it with you guys a few weeks ago on my home goods haul that I did. And so I think that this color palette actually opens up a whole new world of accent colors for us. Even if you're like me and you do like to keep things fairly neutral in your house, you can include these in books and accessories and pillows and all those good things. Or if you just really, really love it, you could actually just paint one of the rooms out in one of these colors and just accent and just take that palette and use it literally throughout your entire house. That's what's so fun about a palette, is that it gives you a lot of options. You guys are gonna have to let me know what you think of this color palette. I know that you're gonna think this is it, but wait until you see the rest of these. They are equally as surprising and amazing. I wanted to take just a moment and thank our video sponsor for today, which is Nordgreen. And yeah, it's very easy for me to chat about Nordgreen because it is a watch company that you guys have seen me wearing pretty much every single day for at least 5 years at least. It's maybe been even longer. I'm obsessed with Nordgreen. I absolutely love their watches. I love their ethos. I love the fact that they have a give back program. For every watch that you purchase, you get to go online and choose which one of the organizations you want them to donate to on your behalf because of your purchase. I love the fact that they have classic designs. So we're sitting here talking about color trends. And you guys know I love to look at the trends. I love to see what's coming. I feel like it tells us so much about what we want and what we'll be craving. But I love to have classic pieces in my home and in my closet, in my wardrobe, that really just help me, that just really stand the test of time. I don't think it's too big of a secret that I really love designer sunglasses, and the reason why is because I love to have a really high quality pair of sunglasses. I think it's really important to protect our eyes. I think it's important to keep those UV rays out of our eyes, and I think that they're stylish and they're kind of cool. It's one of those things. It's a great accessory, and it really just ups your look, and it's something that we really need to have. And I feel like this summer of all summers, it's been an endless summer, and it's been a heat wave, you know, in so many places. So sunglasses are one of those things that I just really love to invest money into, and I'm really looking for something that's really high quality. Nordgreen's packaging, look at this packaging. It looks like you've just purchased the highest designer sunglasses. These are definitely not at the designer price tag, but the quality on these is just as high. It is amazing. You're gonna absolutely love them. So they come in these beautiful cases, and I wish I could send this through because it's a really beautiful leather kind of feel to them. They are, look at the inside of that. Isn't that just gorgeous? They, just like their watches, have given us these gorgeous classic designs for sunglasses that I am just dying over. I am so excited about these. I've got not just one, but 2 pairs to show you today. I've chosen, of course, these with the tortoise because I just love to have a little bit of variation on that. I think that just really, it just ties into a little bit of brown on an outfit, and I just love them. Nordgreen has very kindly sent us a discount code that can be used on watches and sunglasses. I know, they really love us. So use the code House of V and get 15% off the watch line and brand new sunglasses collection. I will leave all the details down below, and I will also link up the items that I've chosen so you can shop my Nordgreen favorites. Thank you again to Nordgreen, not only for sending me beautiful watches and sunglasses, but also being our video sponsor. And now back to the color forecast. Next up, for all of you green lovers who were so excited about the color of 2022 being green, you're going to love this next palette. It is based off of a very warm, sagey kind of color. It's stunning. And this collection is called BIOME. And this is how Sherwin Williams describes this collection. Our world, our home. In the vast wilderness of our imaginations, we cultivate a new consciousness. As this abundant earth provides, we seek perfect balance with the existing ever-changing ecosystem. Preserve peace in an atmosphere of delicate mushroom taupe, lichen gray, rich earth tones, and the colors of our sky's cloud-studded canopy. Oh, Sherwin Williams, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? First of all, can you see why I'm like, you're gonna have a struggle? Because both of these palettes are stunning. They're both based off of these very muted natural palettes. We've been talking about that a lot, about how these really neutral, very warm and just sort of cozy colors were really going to be coming in, and here they are. They're so natural and you really get the sense of what these are based off of. I love these colors. Included in this palette we have Urbane Bronze, which is a color that I use Urbane Bronze almost every day of my work life. I use this color constantly for color consultations. It's a color that looks like brown iron. So I either will use the iron ore as more of a black iron color, or Urbane Bronze. So this is a color that I know there's a reason it's in this palette, because everybody is wanting this color right now and it's super popular. Now, they also have given us Threshold Taupe, Evergreen Fog, Homburg Gray, Antler Velvet, Shiitake, Silver Mist, Mount Etna, Rookwood Medium Brown, and White Raisin. Now, I'm not really sure that color looks like a white raisin to me. Maybe so. I guess if they're the little golden ones. I personally don't love to put greens and yellows together, so for me, I probably wouldn't use that color, but that's just me personally. That's what's so fun about looking at these color palettes, is that this is this moment when it really becomes all about you and what really jumps out at you, and you think about your project and how you might be able to bring these colors into your home. If you're drawn to these the way that I am, you're gonna be so excited, because this is an easy palette to incorporate into a home, especially if you have one like mine that's very neutral, and there's plenty of room to be able to bring in a muted palette, and you can really just bring those colors in seamlessly. Of course, you can go just like they did, paint it on the wall, go bold, bring all the color palette into one space, or just like in the last one, you may want to take that shiitake and use that as an accent color. I would use that in a dining room. I'd use it in a powder room. I think it'd be gorgeous in a master bathroom. I put a color very similar to that in my closet, which I'll be sharing with you very, very soon. It's already recorded, guys. It's in the editing schedule, so it'll be out soon. So if you're thinking about this color palette and you're trying to think through how to include it into your home, yes, paint the walls out, go for it. But you could also, just like in the other one, include some accessories. Think about some beautiful coffee table books, some cushions, some candle holders, maybe some lighting. You can also bring it in through greenery itself and art pieces. I think that art would be a very easy way to bring this color palette very easily into your home without having to spend a ton of money. Of course, you could always go for some more expensive oil paintings, and that would be incredible. But you could also use it for bedding. A rug would just pull all of it together, and you can see how when you have a palette, you can really do something extraordinary in your home. Next up, we have Lore. And when I first looked at this, I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but I understand where they're coming from, and I love this perspective, and I'm really excited to hear your feedback on this one. So Lore is our wellspring of inspiration. The call to create is woven into the fiber of our being, present in the very air we breathe, binding us together. Our wellspring of inspiration. The call to create is woven into the fiber of our being, present in the very air we breathe, binding us together in a community of makers that spans centuries and crosses cultures. Reconnect with an intricate mix of ancient reds, powdery pastels, and a bevy of bejeweled tones, and embrace the transformative power of passionate creativity. Wow. Wow. So this is truly founded in that artisanal idea that we have been talking about so much on our channel this year. And I feel like Sherwin Williams listened to us. I feel like they listened to what we said, and they gave us a palette that was really based off of those really, really rich colors, those deep, earthy, artisanal colors that we are just craving in our homes. I immediately think of the wabi-sabi movement, and of course, I cannot help but think of Axel Vorwort. His work really embodies this color palette. His passions for those artisanal items is something that has just been so contagious for so many of us. I have found so many accessories that really go along with this idea from places like West Elm, Pottery Barn. Those companies have especially jumped onto this, and I've been getting some gorgeous things from there. I know they called it lore, but I feel like it's wabi-sabi. It's this sort of natural call to nature and really celebrating an artisanal method. We were just in Mexico a few weeks ago. I just went completely nuts over the use of artisanal architecture and methods and how they had created something that felt so modern and present and yet so utterly grounded in history and the fundamental traditional ways of doing things in Mexico. I can barely talk about it. Clearly, I'm like, how do I even describe this? It's just so good. So if you love this palette, there's a lot of different ways, not just accessories. I think that looking at lime washes and those artisanal finishes are something that you should seriously consider. Whether you want to put it on your walls, whether you want to have it on a vase, I think that this color palette is gorgeous for that. As you look at these colors, we've got the Studio Mauve, we got the Toile Red, the Serape Nugget, Wallflower, Carnelian, Mineral Gray, Blue Peacock, Pediment, and Durry Beige. So Durry Beige and Pediment are two that I use a lot. And then I personally would never mix all of these colors into one, except maybe in like a rug, but it's not something that I typically do. But that doesn't mean that this isn't going to be on trend just because I don't want to do it myself. But you could also take these colors in and again, just bring them in through small accessories if you want to keep a fairly neutral house, or if you just want to go for it. Again, art, rugs, and small accessories can help you transform a space without having to paint out all the walls. Or if you just love the palette and you love that idea of artisanal design. So when you think about these as color palettes and they're not just neutrals, I feel like the Valentina color palette would have a lot of neutrals and some muted colors. But when you think about the bigger picture, they're trying to give you your colors of the year. I think they've really given us a lot to think about and a lot to look at. And I just love when, even if it's not something that I plan to use, it gives me a lot to think about, and it really helps me to realize that this wabi-sabi, these artisanal things, that this idea and these trends are going nowhere. They are here to stay, and so I feel really good about investing in them. Even if I don't pull in that red, it's really fun to be able to look at this palette and decide, is this me? And if not, what can I pull out of it? And what do I feel really connected to? And that's what's so fun about this. Okay, so finally, we are to the one that is my least favorite. However, the fundamental idea of this is quite literally one of the most endearing things I have ever seen, and I just love Sherwin Williams for it. I think that it is amazing, and I really think that it is a really good sign of what we're feeling right now. We're just literally trying to get out of this pandemic and move forward with our lives and start over and just reconnect. And so I think that this palette actually says a lot about our time. This is the Origin palette, mapping our inner world. To chart a path through the wild and wonderful landscape of our lives, we begin within. By layering our fondest memories and future hopes, we create vibrancy and joy in the present moment. Recharge with color that keeps making a comeback. Free-spirited brights, magnetic deeps, and a whisper of restful neutrals. So when I first looked at it, I didn't look at their description and I was like, this feels very childlike. It really doesn't feel really sophisticated. It feels very, very innocent and not childish, but childlike. It feels like something that you would use in a school. It feels like something that you would use maybe in a dental office. It feels like something you would use in a daycare. It really, a kid's bedroom, it really captures that sort of youthful spirit. And I don't say those things in a negative way. I think that children a lot of times are drawn to those primary colors, but they've actually done it in a fairly muted way, I think. Even though it is quite bold, these are not in-your-face primaries. They have a little bit of a muted effect to them. And I think that that's really important to notice as well. So in this palette, you've got Fabulous Grape, Peppery, Goldfish, Chartreuse, Stylish Steel, Pure White, Indigo, Katy Green, Homestead Brown, and Black Magic. Black Magic is one that I use all the time. Pure White Skyline Steel, Homestead Brown. I use all those colors all the time. So you can see, I really love these neutrals. I could pretty much use any neutral out of any of these palettes, but the primary colors in here are really based off of this idea that so many of us want to go back to that sort of wild freedom. I mean, personally, if I'm gonna go wild, I mean, I'm wearing zebra print shoes today. That's more of my version of wild, but I like the idea of what they're talking about. I like what they're saying. I think that the way that they've shown it just really, to me, feels like something that it's not something I would do. It's not how I would create those colors. I would maybe use those as accent colors, especially in my kids' bedrooms. What I've seen in Scandinavian design is that they'll take a really neutral palette like I have here, and then they'll put a bold piece of art with this color palette right smack dab in a very neutral home. They'll add in a bold rug, and they'll add in a couple cushions, and they'll pull in a palette like this right into a neutral home. So if you are one of those people that craves color, and I know so many of you who are gonna watch a video like this, you may not have been to House of Valentina before, or you may love House of Valentina, but you know, my color palette may not be yours and you just crave color. I completely understand that. When it's all about you and it's all about your home, nailing your color is the most important thing. And so that's why I wanna share all of these with you, not just the ones that I feel personally attached to, because you might feel that that bright color palette just is everything that you want and everything that you're needing right now to get back to that childlike feeling where you feel wild and free. And if those colors do that for you, you should 100% go for them. For me, I like to feel like wild and free. I've got a girl in a cheetah print dress sitting right here, and you know, I wear zebra, and I like to bring in my wildness in just a little bit different way, like through leather and textures and you know, all that kind of stuff. But this is where it gets to be a lot of fun. This is about you and really your self-discovery. And so that's what we talk about all the time on our channel, because we want to help you guys find yourselves and really find your own personal style, the way that we have found ours, and we just feel so at home in it and so happy in it. And that's what these color palettes can do. Use them as an inspiration board. Use it as a conversation point to sit around and talk about this with your loved ones, the people that are sharing your home with you, and talk about what they're drawn to. A lot of times I hear that spouses, a lot of times you don't have the same view as to what you want out of your home. Color palettes like this actually give you a huge tool to really get a conversation going with each other. And you might discover that you have some overlap, and that's a good place to start if you're trying to create a home with somebody who doesn't have your exact style. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. I am so inspired by this. I almost can't stand it. I can't wait to go dive into these color palettes a little bit more. I'm gonna sit here for a few minutes and I'm gonna go back through them. I'm very excited about this. I'm excited to hear what the color of the year is going to be for 2023. As soon as I hear it, I'll let you guys know. They don't usually release that until 2023 or the new year has actually arrived. But I think that this color forecast is really exciting. It's really fun to look at, and I can't wait to read your comments and hear what you guys have to say. Let me know where you're coming from as well, because I know that you guys are coming from all over the planet. Let me know if these colors jump out at you. Are you experiencing these same sorts of trends with the wabi-sabi, the artisanal, back to that childlikeness, to the wild and the free and the nature? Are these things that you guys are craving too, and that you're seeing and hoping that your stores will offer you something that you can, you know, create your home with? I mean, that's right. That's what it's all about, is if you want to be able to put things together, you got to have somewhere to buy them. Home companies look at trends like this, and if we say this is what we want, then they will create things for us in those color palettes. So I think it's really fun. I think it's really interesting. I hope that you do too. Hope you'll hit subscribe and stick around. Don't let us get lost out there in the World Wide Web. And let me just say really fast as well, thank you so much for those of you that hit subscribe and got us to 300,000 subscribers. I am literally just blown away. I think I've almost been in a little bit of denial. It's so mind-blowing. That number is so big that it just, I can't talk about it without getting all teary-eyed. I'm just amazed. So thank you so much to every single one of you. I have a very special treat that I'm going to be doing that'll be celebrating 300,000, and I'm not going to give you any hints just yet, but I'm doing something extra special for you guys, and I hope that you will love it. So stay tuned, hit subscribe, and I will be sharing a lot more in the coming days, and I can't wait. What a cool thing that we get to hang out together like this. I love it. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Cheers.